This week's portion, Vayikra, begins the exciting world of offerings and bringing offerings to God. And Vayikra details all the different kinds of offerings. And it's interesting to note that in the second verse of Vayikra, it starts off, Adam ki yakriv, a person shall bring an offering. And it starts off, speaking about this one person, it starts off in singular, but then the verse ends, it's still talking about this person bringing, but it ends in plural. And the question is, if we're talking about this one person, why does the verse of bringing an offering begin in singular and end in plural? Rabbi Moshe Sternbach, he explains really beautifully that yes, we're talking about an individual offering. Let's say he's bringing the offering to atone for a transgression, atone for a mistake that he made, atone for a sin, atone for something or he wants to bring an elevation offering. So what is happening is, yes, he's bringing it as an individual, but his action impacts the world. His action brings blessing to the world. That's why it starts in singular, but the verse ends in plural, because whatever we do impacts the world. We think of ourselves as very small. But why then does the Rambam Maimonides say that when we think of, we're about to do an action, think about it, figure the following, figure that the whole world is half mitzvos, half transgressions. That's the world. It's an even balance. And my action, the action that I'm going to take right now, that's going to tip the scale in either direction. What? Come on, is that real? Is it real? If it's Maimonides says it's real. So we should not and never should underestimate the import of our own actions. That's why the verse begins in singular and ends in plural, because whatever we do impacts the world. Rabbi Zev Lev tells the following story, an analogy about a little girl. She's 5 years old, and her dad is reading a magazine, and she's tugging at her father, and she's bored. And finally the father says, look, he's got to figure out, he wants to read the magazine. So he tears out a page. It's a page that has a map of the world. He tears out the page, tears the map into 25 pieces, and he gives it to the girl, and he says, put this together and then come back. So he figured this would take, who knows how many hours it would take. And a few minutes later, the girl comes back with the map of the world all put together. And the father is stunned because she never saw a map of the world before. And he says, how did you know to put this together? Oh, she says, Daddy, it's very easy. On the back of the page, there was a picture of a person. And so I put the person together. So then I got the world. So Daddy, if you put a person together, then you put the world together. That's what I did. And it's a cute analogy, but it's really, really true. Whatever we do, our actions impact the world. And God willing, may our actions, positive actions, bring blessing to the world. We're about to celebrate the holiday of Purim. Let us truly rejoice. Let us truly reconnect. Just as at the time of Purim, our ancestors reconnected with God, just as we did at Mount Sinai. It was a reconnection. Let us reconnect now, each and every one of us, and do our part. Do our part to build, to bring blessings. And may the world, this fabulous world, may we see the beauty in this fabulous world. May we see in the merit of our connecting to God, the merit of our joy on Purim. May Hashem bring the blessing of peace to the Jewish people and to the world. Have a beautiful Shabbos and a joyous Purim.